Welcome traders to the Prop Shield channel. So this is the first video in our market replay series. And this one is demonstrating our signal score engine. And we've developed a few of them, and this one is specifically for simple market metrics. And so the idea behind this is that we are trying to filter out weak trades. Seems like simple market metrics does a pretty good job overall in a specific time of day when it's producing the signals to have a good win rate. And it just seems like you have to risk 2 to 3 times um, in order to trade it, just how it's designed. And so I've put 80 ticks as my stop instead of 120. That seems like a pretty good sweet spot to where you're not risking too much, so you don't have to have as high of a win rate, so you can take on more losses. And you're just not, if you go on losing streaks, you're not going to get behind as much. So we're just going to show how this score engine works with it. So we have our signal panel. It's ready to go. Tells that we're in our trade session. So this is Chicago time. So we're going to do 9:30, so it's about an hour after market open, and trade for 30 minutes. That's the session that seems to work best to trade on the 2-minute chart and go for 40 ticks profit with an 80 tick stop. Let's see, in the panel, you see all these timestamps on the log. So this is whatever the current time is on your computer. It is not the market replay time. All right, so we have a signal populating. So the week is the first full week in January. So there is a signal populating, and this one did hold. So the score engine hasn't started calculating anything because that has a session filter also, and it's been designed for the 9:30 to 10 a.m. session. That's what it's been tuned for. So we have, it tells you if the status is ready, and then there's 5 different categories that it's taking. Top score is 100. It'll give a long or a short score, and then if it's going to allow it. And then this just tells you what like our profile is, 40 to 80 ticks. There we go. So we got in the trade. Here, we'll just slow it down. Long score of 74. We have it set at 70 to try to filter out some bad trades. So let's scroll back up here. There's a lot of stuff came in. So right here, it's showing, you know, accepted score of 74. So the panel knows this. And then so it exceeded the threshold. So let the trade through. And then even up here in the trade manager, you'll see like, okay, your direction long. It'll tell you what your stop is, your target is, in that as well. We're not using the ATM. That's why you see the chart traders, it's just hidden, it's not off, and a max trade of 1. So within that 30 minutes on the 2-minute chart, it's like 95% of the time you're only going to get 1 trade. And so those days where you get more than 1, they just seldomly happen. So I just have it set as max of 1. And so if you get early, then you're just done. There you guys came at the first part of a session, so we'd just be done with this. And so you see the signal panel, it paints a green dot for longs and a red dot for shorts. So that lets you know that the trade panel automatically took the trade.
Order canceled.
And there we go, closed it out. And then the log in here also shows of like what the stop would be, target would be. It shows you how fast or how slow, how many milliseconds it took from when the signal came in for it. All right, so there's that one. Let's see. How far do we have to go ahead? Okay, we did have the next 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every day this week had a trade. All right, so we'll go on to the next day. We'll just pause it. We'll shut that off while we speed this up. So the market replay NinTrader gets weird sometimes. You know, if you just try to scroll ahead or go back, and it seems to move faster if you shut off any strategies. So we're just gonna let it fast forward itself. And so we're looking for 9:46 time on the chart. And so for something like simple market metrics where we have a fixed target and stop, we're not using a dynamic one. This is where the score filter and also a market regime filter, if we get that one developed for it, will be more important versus our other trade setups with opening drive and trail trender. We're using more of an adaptive stop and target. So that will already reject trades if it doesn't fit the profile. So we haven't introduced that yet. So we'll go over in future videos on that, what all that means. So as you see before the session, nothing was calculating and stuff on it. And then see every bar, it updates. So we have to have it for this, every bar give a long or short score, because we're reading someone else's product that uses draw objects versus our own. You won't see on any of our trade setups. You're not going to see a long and a short score unless if it produces a signal. But it'll still calculate all of these. Like you'll see that every bar. It just won't give the score down here and say allow yes or no. You took that trade, short score of 81. This one did kick back a good amount on us. And just the fill, it was a horrible fill stuff. I mean, even though it happened so quick, but the Nasdaq, I mean, it can skip a few points extremely fast.
Order canceled.
And then there you go. It tells you, on the chart what you got filled at. All right, so the 7th came early at 9:34. So this is a week that had trades every day, and there were some losers. And our signal panel seems to work fine with all the background color changes and Profit Wave. I know Trade Saber, he advocates shutting all of those off for his. I think maybe it causes some chart lag. But I mean, if it doesn't, if you're automating your trading, you don't need it on. It doesn't impact the signals at all. But if you just want to do manual trades based upon that, then that's when you'd keep it on. And our signal panel, um, it lets you do both. So you can automate it, but then you can also manually get in trades. So we're setting it up to replace the normal chart trader that's normally on the right side. Oh, we skipped it too long. We'll see if NinjaTrader gets weird on us. So yeah, that just showed a previous market replay that I did. Long score of 97.
Order canceled.
And that one, I mean, gave it a really high score and it hardly kicked back on us. So what this could also potentially mean is that, I mean, we have it set at 70 as a bare minimum, just a minimum allowance. I mean, you can set it whatever you want. So if you really want to set it 80, 85, 90, and potentially reduce your stop. So you're not going to get as many trades, it's going to kick back a lot. Um, oh, look at that. And it just, bam. So I mean, it's even that one got 100%. Said it was going long.
Order cancelled.
This one, it just kicked back a lot. It even kicked back, I mean, to the 120 ticks. So we're following kind of the old rules, close of the profit wave, 91. I mean, yeah, that's 30. It's almost, yeah, it's almost 40 points. No, thank you. But it looked kind of weak, bouncing around, and then hammer down two candles. So again, I mean, this, it's not it's not psychic. It can't prevent all the losers, but if we can filter out an equal amount of winners and losers, since we have a negative risk profile here, that's a win. All right, one more. This is probably going to be one of the longer market replay videos just because we're only getting one trade in per day versus our other ones. Trail Trender can do a few. Same thing with opening drive. There you go. Short score 58. So it did not take it. And this one, here we'll speed it up. I mean, easily, like complete loser. The full 120 ticks, did not allow. So this week it had the three winners, two losers, no matter if you did 40 ticks, 80 ticks or 120 ticks. So if you did the full 120 minus 600, you did 80 ticks, you're minus 200. Um, taking all the trades, but with the score filter, so we had 2, 4, 6, minus one trade, so you're plus 200 for the week on that one. So that was a good swing on that. So that's just one of the layers that we can add to help us potentially stay out of bad trades. And so this does, I've ran it through the full month, and it did filter out some winners too. But so the full month of January, or it's, both months, January, February, it was plus 1800. And so it did reduce the total profit by like $400. And this is with an 80 tick stop on both. Um, but your win rate, it was 83%. So you only had three losses. It filtered out, you're like both winners and losers. So that's what we're looking for, is to increase the win rate and to tighten up our stop instead of having the full 120. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. I believe the next one I'm making is just going more in detail, about the score engine and stuff.